After Sonic's recent lackluster performance in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, you'd be forgiven for freaking out when you heard there was another sports game with Sega mascots in the works. But there's good news here. Sega Superstars Tennis is actually pretty good. Sega Superstars Tennis features 16 characters from classic Sega games. Each player is rated for speed, control, power, spin, or all-around ability. The 8 characters that are unlocked from the start include Sonic, Ai from Super Monkey Ball, Knights, Oolala from Space Channel 5, Beat from Jet Set Radio, Amigo from Samba de Amigo, Tails, and Dr. Eggman. The 8 starting characters are good, but the unlockable characters aren't quite as interesting and barely qualify as D-listers.
I expected better.
The characters, levels, music, and even some of the gameplay from these classic franchises are put to good use in Superstars mode. Many of the challenges contained here are really fun, and some of them are especially creative. In the Virtua Squad minigames, you aim at targets that pop up and try to shoot the bad guys while avoiding civilians, just as you would in Virtua Cop. In Puyo Pop Fever, you're essentially playing the actual puzzle game and clearing the Puyo with tennis balls. The only knock against these stages is that the game doesn't do much in the way of explaining the gameplay, so if you've never played the original game before, you could be clueless as to how to play here. It's a good thing that Superstars mode is so much fun because the actual tennis in Sega Superstars Tennis is merely average. The simple controls mean that it's easy to pick up and play, but also that you'll have mastered the gameplay in a matter of minutes. In general, the controls are tight, but there are a few times where you'll hit the button to swing and your character just won't respond. There are a few different control schemes on the Wii and they work fine, though the motion controls don't really add much to the experience. Lobs, drop shots, and net play are ineffective, so you'll spend your time hitting from the baseline, trying to run your opponent back and forth from left to right, until they just can't get to a shot.
Game Gilius.
No mercy.
Each character has a superstar ability that can be activated once the star below them begins to flash, but these abilities aren't much help, and really only serve to interrupt play.
Aren't you worried?
On the PS3 and 360 only, Sega Superstars Tennis features a surprisingly robust online mode that runs well and is lag-free. Unfortunately, you'd be hard-pressed to actually use any of these great features because almost nobody is playing online. You won't be amazed by Sega Superstars Tennis visuals, but it's a decent-looking game that makes good use of its source material. Although the game is hardly pushing the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 to their limits, the frame rate isn't always steady, particularly on the PlayStation 3. Some courts are worse than others during singles play, but the frame rate really chugs on any stage if you're playing doubles. The PS2 and Wii versions feature less detail, but they actually run smoother, and in progressive scan. If you're looking to play traditional tennis, then you'll want to stick with Top Spin or Virtua Tennis. But if you want a lighthearted tennis game, or you enjoy mini-games, or you have a special place in your heart for the glory days of Sega, you'll find a lot to like in Sega Superstars Tennis.